Welcome back, everyone, to the FloTrack podcast. I'm Kevin. He is Gordon. The last pod before hopefully we get to Eugene to cover the World Championships. Today we are previewing the men's events. We already did the women's race. Gordon, good morning. How are you?
Why did you say hopefully we go to Worlds?
Eh,
Why is the word hopefully
eh.
thrown in there?
I meant on time. Our
Okay.
last flight left me with some scars, and the idea that we're going
Okay.
to get there 9, 10 hours before the meet is set to start. We'll get there eventually. Just I'm not as confident about we're there for the very first event. I want to be pleasantly surprised. That's how I live my life.
That is a good point. I haven't thought about there have been a lot of delays on flights all
Yeah,
over the country, and we're deciding to get there at midnight. So if there's just one delay, we're stuck. Man, I didn't even
we're
think about
pushed to
that.
the
Now you
next
just
day.
like made me
Yeah.
overthink my thoughts. Yeah, because ooh, we might miss the meet. Do you think we're gonna
No, we're
miss the
not going to
meet?
miss the meet. We might miss a portion of the meet,
Okay.
but that's worst case scenario. I'm
Okay.
planning on being there on time. I just said hopefully because I don't want people to be, hey, where are you? And we're not there. In any event, let's stay positive. The email address, flowtrackpodcast at gmail.com. Thanks to Colt for producing. Johnny's also joining us today. We'll get to the men's events, but a couple news items we wanted to touch on first. We had previewed the women's 5,000 and 10,000. Last pod talked a lot about Francine Nian Saba. I picked her for gold. You picked her for medals. She will not be at the meet. Posted on Instagram saying that she had a stress fracture, so she will not compete. Uh, she has had a heck of a last couple of years post Olympics. Remember in 2021, went on a tear, was really good at the beginning of this season. We hadn't seen her race in a while, which again, when you don't see someone race in track, sometimes that could be something, sometimes that could be nothing. You just don't know. Turns out it's bad news for her. She will not be at this meet, which obviously changes things dramatically in the women's 5 and women's 10.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I was excited to see her. She was gonna be an interesting factor in both those 5 and the 10s. Now it's gonna be even more of an Ethiopian show, right? And we'll see how it plays out. But it is a bummer. She's was set up to this was set up to be the year that she would be in contention to win.
Hmm.
Olympics was kind of like the rust buster for her at that distance. And then, now that she had figured out how to run these fives and these tens, she was ready to go up
Hmm.
against the best. And, she ran in a sub 9 minute 2 mile at end of May.
Yeah.
And you're
Yep.
thinking, all right, this is it. She's ready to go. She's ready to show off the wheels. She has that natural 800-meter speed. And, but now she's injured and it's a bummer. But hopefully she recovers. She's back in time for 2023 and she can
Hmm.
eventually get on that starting line to potentially win her first gold medal.
Hmm. Also, just a big shift in the storylines in terms of a DSD athlete moving
Yeah.
up in distance and then potentially winning gold. That would have been a huge story in this meet if it had happened. And she will not be there. I guess it means we need to revise the picks, but we can do that. We can do that offline and then change the graphic before we post it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had her winning. I had her winning gold in one, and then I think it was silver in the other. I felt that confident, even though we hadn't seen her in a while, that she'd be able to get out there. And actually, I had double gold for her. Now that I look back on it, you had her a gold and a silver. I mean, this is a huge blow to the event. In other news, in an event that we're going to preview today, Nigel Amos has been provisionally suspended by the Athletics Integrity Unit, tested positive at an out of competition test back in June. AIU received the information just basically yesterday and then issued the suspension. Obviously, they want to get this stuff out before the championships start. The drug GW1516, which if people are unfamiliar with that, just number one, a very dangerous drug in general. It's not approved at all for human consumption. It is not safe to take. I saw WADA has put out like issued warnings to athletes like, hey, you shouldn't take any PED, but you really shouldn't take this because it is so dangerous to take the human body. So Amos will be out for the World Championships 800. Obviously, he's been a figure in this event for a very long time. Go back to 2012, 10 years ago now. Silver in that famous race at the London Olympics where David Rudisha broke the world record. I'm guessing we'll learn more about this in the days, months to come. But for now, it's a name of a guy who's been successful out of the 800, which has been just a completely wide open, unpredictable event this year.
Yeah, were you surprised when this news broke? How like what was your shock level?
I'm
I was
surprised.
kind of
I'm
bummed.
call
I
me
was bummed.
well, yeah, yeah. You're disappointed that not that he got caught, but you're disappointed that it was positive because you don't want
Yeah,
anybody using drugs, especially something like this that's this dangerous. And someone who's been in the sport that long and you assume has
yeah.
been tested a bunch of times, has competed in a lot of big competitions all throughout the world. Yeah, it's shocking. Again, I'm probably, oh yeah, I'm not one of the people who's like everybody's doing it all the time. Like that's not how I view the sport. Um, so yeah, a little bit of surprise. I know some for some people this is going to be all right. Let's wipe out his entire career. Some people are going to compartmentalize it. Again, I'm going to wait, hear what he says on this one, see all the evidence that's out there. But this is a very serious drug and a drug that again is rightfully banned based on the science that we have right now.
And I think now, I mean, the odds of him coming back from this are extremely rare, right? He's getting older in age, but
Yeah,
he's gonna have the one of the most unique legacies because you look at his time. How fast did he run
yeah.
in that Rudisha race?
He was 141.
Yeah, 141 at age what? 17, 18, 19. How old was he? He was like a teenager, right?
He's only 28 now. And that was so it's
So
18.
18. So he's 18 years
Yeah,
old. He runs 141, and then he never wins a world or Olympic title.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
wild. Like you would think,
yeah.
oh my goodness, that fast, that young, right behind the greatest of all time to do it in Rhodesia. Eventually, your day's going to come. And we were thinking about it, but he would have great regular seasons, and then
Yep,
for some reason,
yep.
either he got hurt or um, he
Tactics were
just
always
didn't
an
do well
issue
in the
too.
final tactically. And
Hmm.
now he's 28. Now he's going to be facing a suspension. It's probably going to be at least 4 years, likely. I don't know, maybe two, but probably four. Uh, his career has kind of been like the could have, would have been
Hmm.
the what could have been type career. Just kind of a bummer.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, man, I hate when this happens. Sucks for our sport. Don't like
I'm
it.
guessing too. This isn't the last thing. These things tend to come out right before the major championships because they want to make sure they don't have to reallocate medals after. They want to do their best to
Yeah.
avoid that. So this sort of brought back. Oh, okay. It is championship week, and it's a part of the sport that this happens every single time. It's championship week. You're usually going to get some sort of bust like this. You're also going to get stories about visa issues, which I saw Ferdinand Omanyala, the 100-meter man from Kenya, I guess is not in the US yet, which is a problem because that's one of the first events of the entire competition. Still trying to get his visa to get over to the United States. That's a thing that's always an issue. All sorts of. I remember back in 2019, Nigeria, there was an issue with like entering the athletes in the wrong events. Like that was a huge, huge issue. I remember talking to them in the mix zone and how frustrated they were with their federation. So this just sort of repeats itself every couple of years when it comes to the world championships.
Yeah, I remember World Indoors in Birmingham. Manuel Career couldn't make the meet. He was one of the favorites. Saruni, I don't think could make it either for Kenya. So yeah, it's our sport, man. So complicated. They make things so simple, so complicated. Simple.
I
Don't do
remember
drugs. It's simple. Just get a visa. It's just like all this.
I
Pretty simple.
remember do you remember norovirus that one year? Was that
Yeah, with
2017? And they Makwala?
Aquala. Yeah.
And then they wouldn't let him run, and then he came back and ran it solo to qualify by himself, and they did push-ups,
Yep.
after he crossed the finish line. That was that was weird. You think you've seen it all, and then you realize you forget about a lot of it a couple of years later, and then you think back, like, "That was a bizarre time. I don't remember that
Yeah, well,
happening."
that virus time is also kind of bizarre looking back on it, seeing how COVID was, right? So you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
at the time, you're like, oh my goodness. And then all of a sudden, like a few years later, we have this whole global pandemic. And
Yeah,
that looks like,
totally different
oh,
though.
they were making the wise decision.
Yeah,
Looks different.
yeah.
So,
Alright, let's roll. Let's get into
so
this. We're gonna
before we roll,
go
though,
in we're not
before we
rolling.
roll,
Sorry, you're gonna read, give us some updates? What's going on?
okay. So,
Breaking news?
yeah, breaking news. So, in the state of Oregon, you're allowed to legally gamble, sports gamble. There's one sports book, which is DraftKings. It's the only one allowed in Oregon. I am going to be going to Oregon. I already downloaded the DraftKings app. This is like a free ad press for them, free ad, right? And I was
Mm,
like, are they going to give me odds for the world championships? And lo and behold, they are. First thing they released were the 100-meter odds. Got Curly minus 125, Jacobs surprisingly plus 350, Bromell plus 400, Fraser Price, the odds favorite, minus 125 on the women's side, Thompson Hra plus 100, Sharika Jackson plus 550, Coleman plus
mm.
650. So good odds, but it's only for winner. And I'm going to be there, man. I'm going to be there with this app, eligible to gamble on all 49 events. So I put up a poll and I asked people, how much should I gamble? Because we're going to do it. We're going to do it, Kevin. We're going to go all in again.
Mm,
Click on one of the click on one of the choices to
all of
see
your money.
what the odds are saying. And this is what the odds are saying. So 16% say I should just gamble $1 per event, 49 bucks. 17%, $100 per event. 31%, $10 per event. But
Mm.
34% saying I need to go $204 per event for a grand total of $10,000 next week.
I I don't think they're thinking of your best interests there, Gordon. I think they wanna see you suffer.
You got 10K to lose, Gordon?
To be, why not? We'll see what happens.
You
I'll,
really
I'll, I'll
hold
try to
on, you're
get
actually considering this?
maybe, yeah. Why not? Maybe not 10,000. Maybe I put that on there as like kind of a red herring. I didn't think people would click on it, but I did gamble like 4,500 for the Olympics. So
Cole, how much you think you should bet?
Less than my net worth, and two of these are above it. So
No, but how much do you wanna see Gordon gamble? Not you.
in the chat, how much should I gamble in the chat? What's the chat saying?
The
What
chat,
should I
let's
go
see.
for? I'm
MR says do 149 team parlay.
yeah, I'm not going for that. I'm not gonna go 49 for 49.
I don't
I'm think
think, are all the odds eventually gonna be posted? Is that their goal, or are they just
I
gonna have
mean,
select
I feel
events?
like they are because I just looked and DraftKings has like the hammer throw, high jump, shot put,
There's
like all the
wait, hold
stuff.
on.
So
Do they have the men's 800? There's no way they actually have the men's 800 up there. I don't know what
well,
they would put for the men's 800.
well, that's why I'm excited for the men's 800 because I'm gonna go all in on a certain person whose last name is the same sound for Mula. I mean, same sound for money, Mula. So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
I
got
think a lot of the
things are slowly populating. They have a bunch of field event stuff up, like long jump,
okay.
pole vault, 100 hurdles, high hurdles. They don't have the
The
800
most
yet, but I think eventually they will. It's later in the meet, so they're probably doing like the stuff that's
yeah,
starts
early
earlier
on.
before the other
Yeah.
stuff.
Here's my issue with all these. They have one or two that are just way out there that are just completely off. Like that Jacobs line is totally off.
Yeah,
And then on the 100, they also have what's Bracy? 66 to 1 or something like that. Something
yeah,
insane. That's way off too. So you see those and you're thinking, okay, I'm smarter than them. I can win some money. But the top line numbers are realistic. And that's really what matters because you're really talking about you can only get this right one way unless there's some stranger prop bets that are out there. But it's winners is what you're looking at. So
Yeah.
you're not going to get any points for, oh yeah, I put money on Bracy and he got silver, and he was plus, what is he? What's Bracy right now on the?
He's
Has it
plus
changed?
6,600. So like 66 to
Yeah,
1.
that's which is insane. Which is
Yeah.
insane. He should be much lower than that. His odds should be better than Jacobs, don't you? Based on the
Oh, yeah.
season.
Thousand
Yeah,
percent. The fact that Jacobs is
yeah,
2 is the most stupid odds out
yeah.
there.
But
Plus,
again, that doesn't
yeah.
matter. That doesn't matter, right? Unless that person ends up winning. So, but that's where they pull you in on that stuff.
The Jacobs
Yeah.
line is bait for sure for people that don't watch track and field and just saw like the Olympics last time, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's for the people who are like, oh, the Olympic champion. Yeah, he's plus 350. I'll go with the Olympic champion for plus 350. So yeah, that's how it's bait.
Yeah.
Classic. Okay. Okay, your boy Oblique Seville is plus 3,000, and then my boy Akeem Blake is plus 9,000. So maybe you should put $100 on Akeem Blake for plus 9,000. So if you lose the bet, you make $9,000, and then use that money to fly me to Jamaica.
Yeah.
So we can kind of cover our bets for each other. So we should each bet on the other Jamaican, so we can have the
Mhm.
funds to send each other to Jamaica. Thoughts?
No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I just, again, I think you can run great and get a medal.
All
I'm
right.
looking at the chat here. Camp Eagle says Gordon is insane. Ben says 50 pounds an event. Adrian says 10K. David says you should bet what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, look at
Ben
that.
says
Bet what you're comfortable with. Bet responsibly.
Ben says you need to go all in on Max Bergen, you donut. I've never heard donut be used as an insult. That's amazing. Uh, another Ben. We got two Bens in the chat. Dueling Bens. Track and golf can be easier to bet because they give big names great odds, even if they're not performing well. Yeah, absolutely. That's bait, but also you. So then who's going to win though, right? And in the 100, it's like, all right, Curly is the favorite. They have him as the favorite. Romel's second. That fits. Uh, Anthony says, "Is Gordon betting again? What does he have left to lose? The hat on his head."
I'm excited.
uh,
So maybe I don't do maybe I just do one big bet per night. Right? So I do 10 big bets. It's a 10-day meet.
all right.
And I'll do like
I can't bail you out though, just so you know. If you get stuck in Eugene and
$250 per day.
don't have money for
Maybe
an
500.
Uber to get back to the airport, I'm not gonna be able to
It's
provide
not
that
real
for you.
money. It's all just in the phone. It's not actually. I'm not actually pulling out
Stop.
cash
Stop.
from my wallet and giving it to them. So like the cash in my wallet stays. It's just
Yeah.
imaginary money on the phone, right? That's how it works.
All right, let's get into it. Yassine, one more comment says, if you don't think Marcel is ready, then you are not up to speed at all.
Ooh,
Marcel's gonna
he's
have, yeah, there it is.
does he
He's
know
messing with
something that
y'all.
we don't? Uh-oh.
He's not gonna run unless he's ready to medal at least. I mean, is he gonna run then? I don't know. I
I don't
don't
think
see
so.
Marcel Jacobs medaling. All right, could be wrong, but he's just scratched a lot this year. Men's 100, Gordon. We're making picks. I'm gonna write them down. My question for you, men's 100. How many medals does the U.S. get in this event?
I think 3. I think they're gonna sweep. They got 4 entries, and I think they're gonna sweep with the defending world champion not being even one of the sweepers. I like your rankings. I like that you have Curly 1, Bromell 2, Bracy 3. And I think that's going to be the order. I think it's going to be Curly 1. I think Bromell gets second. And I think Bracy gets third. Bracy's been looking really good. He beat Bromell at USA's. Coleman just hasn't done enough for me. Yes, he scratched the 100 final and he doesn't have a reason to run it. But even then, I just feel like Coleman isn't 100% there. I think Bracy is more sharp than Coleman is right now. And Bracy has shown consistency. So has Bromell. Curly obviously has. Coleman, not as much. and I'm gonna say consistency wins, especially when you have 3 rounds. Um, I think Curly, Bromell, Bracy. That's my order.
I'm gonna go Curly. This is not a sweep. I like how you had. Well, anyway, between the women and the men in the 100, you're gonna have a sweep, but it's not gonna be the Jamaican women. I think that's interesting. I'm gonna go Curly, Bromell, and then for bronze, that's right, Blake Seville. He's getting it done here. I know
Oh,
he got beat by Johan Blake at the Jamaican trials, but I like his upside. Let's see, Seville's last 4 races, this including the rounds: 986, 998, 992, 988. I like the consistency. Just 21 years old. He is going to put his name out there to the global audience that he is the future of Jamaican men's sprinting. Oblique Seville gets bronze.
I like that pick. I mean, I still think Akeem Blake is going to beat him, but you know, potato, potato.
Yeah. Breezy says, "Can we think outside the box? Can we be a little more open minded? What happened last year? An Italian won, so let's dig a little deeper with these picks. I
Good
mean,
point.
go through go through the start list. Who's
It's
gonna?
hard though.
Let's look at the actual names. Curly,
Yeah,
I'm going by entry times. I know that's not everything, but Curly, Bromell, Blake, Johan Blake, Omanyala, Bracy, Seville, Coleman, Azamati, Eli Hall, who's
he's not there.
just entered as
That's
an
a alternate.
alternate pick. Reese Prescott, Akeem Blake, Joseph Paul Amoa, Letsile Tobogo. That gets you to 996. Abekun, Matadi, Ashe, Jerome Blake. That gets you to 10 flat. I mean, do you think somebody who hasn't broken 10 this year is going to win? Again, maybe it's a possibility, but then who are you picking over Curly or if you're going to take Bromell out of that group? Who do you feel really good about?
I
Omanyala's
mean,
run well, but has he been better this year than Fred Curley? I mean, he beat him in Kenya, sure, when they raced against each other. But Curley's proved
that's a good
himself.
point.
Well,
Did beat him.
right, but he did beat him. So I guess is Omanyala the pick? You're gonna Johan Blake ran fast at the Jamaican trials, but he's run against plenty of good competition throughout the year. I don't think he matches up to Curley. So I get the need to look outside the box and be creative, but what's the pick then? Who else has given you any semblance of confidence that they can win gold this year?
Yeah, I think it's Omanyala, but if he doesn't even, we don't know yet because of the visa issues. Do we know if that's solved or is he still stuck?
No, but just put that aside. I mean, hopefully
Okay,
he gets there. But even if you put that aside, like, is he the guy? I
I
mean,
think it's
I
him.
think. Well, I think one of the three Jamaicans is going to run really well. So I would put somebody else there. But okay, is the next guy Omanyala? Remember, the U.S. gets 4 here too, so they have a little bit more wiggle room than they would in a previous season. I just think look at Curley's body of work this year. Look at
Insane.
how well he ran at the trials. Right. And then look at the fact that I know, again, times aren't everything, but when you have your alternate, Eli Hall, clocking in the top 10, that's a big sign for the U.S. Let me look at where is Omanyala's season. So this is after he beat Curley, right, in Nairobi with the 985, May 7th, 10.11. Then he ran 10.14. I'm just reading finals. And then 993 with a plus 4.5. And then again in Nairobi, 10.03. Again, you can make that pick and say, hey, he's a sleeper or upset pick, and that's fine. But I don't think we should pretend like Curly, Bromell, and the Americans aren't big favorites to get at least 2 medals here. That's just not how the season's gone.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I just think it's gonna be America, America, America. Yes, it's no fun to not have the wild card Jamaican or Kenyan or the Kene Simbene from South Africa or something like that. But it's just I don't think it's in the cards. I think I can see America going 1, 2, 3, 4. Not even 1, 2, 3. I can see them going 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. My
So
point is, you can come up with a crazy sleeper pick, but you're just guessing at that point.
Yeah.
There's no evidence that they've done that. There's no evidence. No one's put together a season that's pointing in that direction at all. Is
Yeah.
my point. All right,
We'll
I'm
see.
gonna close my blinds here because I'm getting weird sun coming in. 10K's up next. Go ahead.
Break down 10K. So let's bring up the okay. We'll start with Kevin's rankings. So he has Borrega 1, Cheptegei 2, Woku 3, Aragawe 4, Kajelcha 5, Mohamed 6, Kamoy 7, Grant Fisher 8, and then Mengesha 9 and Klecker 2. Klecker 10. So
Yep.
obviously this is gonna be another one of the two Ugandans, a bunch of Ethiopians, and then maybe a Bowerman Track Club athlete in Mohamed or Grant Fisher. Throwing Joe Klecker there too. So I was doing a lot of thinking about this. People forget how fast Grant Fisher 10K was in March. It was
True.
incredible. It was. I was looking into it. Um, Grant Fisher's 10K from March. When you compare his 10K mark to all the other road 10Ks, road 5Ks, track 5Ks, it ranks as the most impressive mark of all of them. So it's more impressive than the 1246 5Ks we saw in the Diamond League back in June. It's more impressive than that. The Ethiopians, they didn't even run in the 2630s. They were running the 2640s when they were running their fast times in early June. So Grant Fisher has this one moniker of a mark. Again, it was March 6, 2022. Mohamed was right behind him. Mohamed, he's a multi-time medalist, I believe. I think he's medaled multiple times
Yes.
in a long distance race. I have a feeling that Grant Fisher might surprise people here and might be able to find a way to get a medal, maybe even win. That sounds stupid to say that, but he looked pretty good in the US 5K, closed well. He was started running 58-second laps, 3 laps out. That's something that you're going to need in a 10K, be able to run, sub 60 pace, 1,200 meters out. I don't know. I know I got to remember that the Ethiopians are legit. They know how to show up. They were able to take down Paul Chelimo and when Paul Chelimo was dominating the US circuit. So
Yeah.
I may be trying to walk this bold prediction back, but I don't know. I have a feeling that we're going to get something special from Fisher and or Mohamed. I just don't think it's a guarantee that it's just going to be a bunch of Ethiopians and Ugandans up there. So when I was looking at how I would go this, it was hard. But I don't know if I should do it. I want to go crazy and be like, I think like Fisher wins. But I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. So I'm going to go Borrego 1. I think
Uh
Mohamed
huh.
2, and then Cheptegei 3.
After all that, you don't pick Fisher for a medal. I kept it simple. Cheptegei, Borrega, Aragawi. The Fisher time is great, but I want to see him against good competition. I would take a slower time with
Yeah.
higher quality wins. Now, there's not a ton of high quality 10Ks you can run, but I mean at least a 5,000. I mean, this year he ran the BU indoor meet again, which was with his team. Good competition on his team. Ahmed's in there, Mark Scott's in there. And then he goes and does that 10,000 again with his team, and then he runs USA's. And he loses the 10K to Clucker, looks great in the 5,000 a month later, not taking anything away from him. This field is really good, though. The 5,000 field is even better than this, but this 10,000 field is really good, and it's a very tough team to medal on. Like Aragawi's 5,000 performance was ridiculous. Cheptegei has been incredibly consistent, and Borrega is also an Olympic champion. So I'm going Cheptegei, Borrega, Aragawi for my
I guess I
10K
just want to
bogey.
do a big build up to say I really, 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 really wanted to put Grant Fisher in my top three, but when it came
Yeah.
down to it, you're right. They're just too good on the other side. So yeah, I went with Borrega, Mohamed, Cheptegei.
Well, I'm saving my homer pick for something later, which I think is warranted. It's not a homer pick at all, but I'm sure people will disagree with me. But I'm going big on my US pick later on. So this is not
Gotcha.
where I would use it because this field is really good. Again, this field is really good because you didn't mention Kip Limo in there as well too. So all right. Thomas says Mohamed multiple medals win where? Well, Tokyo and
Maybe he's
Doha.
only had one. Has he
No,
only had
he
one?
had oh
I feel like he's had more
no,
than
he's
one.
had two. He's had
Okay.
two. Tokyo
Okay.
silver, bronze in Doha. Am I
Okay. Yeah.
mistaken?
I'm not crazy.
I was there in Doha. I remember talking to him after he
Yeah.
got a
Two.
bronze medal, and then he was second. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I was right. Yeah.
People like arguing as if this didn't happen, and we don't have access to Wikipedia. Shout out Canada. All right, who's next? Oh, high hurdles. Early in the meet, I get accustomed to high hurdles being towards the end for some reason. I think in the U.S. championships, they're always towards the end. But man, so you have another event where you have a strong American presence, but you also have Hansel Parchment of Jamaica, the Olympic champion there, looming. What do you see? Do you think this race is going to resemble? I'll give you three choices: A, the Olympic final last year with Parchment pulling the upset; B, New York City this year with Devin Allen running really fast. Actually, I'll give you four choices: C, USA's where you get an upset, or D, the indoor season where Grant Holloway rolls.
Or similar to the 2019 outdoor season where he won.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good options. There's four. I feel like I'm playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire 110 Hurdle
Mm-hmm.
edition. So my entire time I was thinking Devin Allen's going to win USA's and then Grant Holloway's going to win Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
But neither of those things, that scenario didn't play out because one, Grant Holloway scratched and Devin Allen didn't even win USA's. And then I was thinking about, I mean, I'm not sure if we reported it yet on the podcast, but Devin Allen was clearly dealing with an awful situation when he was at USA's when his dad passed away over that weekend. So, not to like bring up, I mean, obviously, rest in peace. That's a horrible situation. I can't imagine going through that, but I can't imagine wanting to even care about trying to win USA's when you're dealing with something that's so much more important in your family side. And I think that could have been a big reason why we didn't see the New York City Devin Allen at USA's. And so then that makes me think, all right, now that time has kind of passed, Devin Allen might be ready to run the way he has the ability to run at Worlds, and that the Devin Allen we saw at USA's was more of a outlier, and that the real liar is not liar. The real person that he is the NYC Grand Prix Devin Allen. So
Mm-hmm.
this it feels like it's a toss up in a way. It feels like you have a justification to go any way. I don't think Daniel Roberts is going to win, and I don't think Hansel Parchment's going to win. That's the odds of that are in the low 5%. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's either going to be Grant Holloway winning in spectacular fashion or Devin Allen winning in spectacular fashion. I think I'm going to go with
Trey Cunningham. Can I talk you into Trey
Trey.
Cunningham?
No, you can't talk me to Trey Cunningham. You can talk me in Cunningham for sure, medal. I can
Yeah.
see that. But I think I'm just going to have to go with Holloway. I'm going to go Holloway 1, Allen 2, and then I'll put Cunningham 3. I don't think Parchment's going to medal. And I think Roberts, he already had, I don't think he's going to medal either. I think it's going to be Holloway, Allen, Cunningham.
I went with Allen, Holloway, and then I'm gonna go with Cunningham as well for that. Actually, no, I'm gonna switch it. I'm going Roberts for that third spot. U.S. sweep again. I think this one's warranted. I don't think this is out of nowhere. Again, when you have for sure three of the top four, and then in the world, and then your fourth best guy actually beats the other three at USA's.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. It is the hurdles. We put all the caveats in about it being an unpredictable event, but those two guys can get down to the 12/8s. We've seen it before, and you have a bunch of other guys a little bit farther back. So I'm gonna go U.S. sweep here. It would be stunning if they didn't get at least two medals here. That would be an unsuccessful trip
Why are
for
you
Team
going with
USA.
Allen over Holloway?
You look at Holloway this season, um, since indoors, and what do you have?
What do you mean, what do you
You
have?
scratch the Bermuda. Well, you scratch the Bermuda meet, right? Because the wind. You have so you have a 13.34 in Baton Rouge. Like I mentioned, scratched. Then he goes to New York, loses to Allen considerably, runs 13:06, and then he goes to USA's and then runs 2 rounds and then doesn't run the final. I think there was another race he scratched too, right? The one in Florida with the real bad weather that a lot of people scratched out of. So I don't. I'm just looking at the resume for outdoors this year, and it would have changed if he had gone into the final at USA's and won that. Obviously, that would have changed my opinion, but he didn't run it. He didn't run the race, so his outdoor season hasn't been. There hasn't been much to his outdoor season versus Allen, who's put some markers out there. He's won a lot. Yeah, he's had some setbacks. I mean, almost missed the team, but clean slate. I think he's running with less pressure too. I think Holloway's running with more pressure on him.
Yeah. That Grand Prix loss was the first loss he had to Allen since 2018 when he lost to Allen at the USA Championships in 2018. So it had been 4 years of never losing to Allen until that Grand Prix race.
Yeah.
You're taking one race and just being like, boom, all right, streak's over. Never going to win again.
Well, but look at this year.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just.
also think
I
maybe
Allen was
Holloway's thinking about, I want to have a really good August and September. And that really I'm treating,
okay,
you know,
but I'm picking a race in July. So if that's the case, then that would even help me more. I I think Allen post Olympics last year changed. A switch flipped. He was
it's
on a
true.
tear post Olympics, and he carried that in. Indoors, all obviously Holloway had his number. Holloway has had everybody's number indoors. It's a different race from 60 to 110. So is it going to surprise me if Holloway could go out there and run 1275 and win by 5 meters, and I'm not going to be surprised. But I look at this outdoor season, and Allen's had a better one.
Fair enough. All right. Dude, we've only done 4 events and we're 45 minutes into the pod. It's a
Well,
mega pod.
because you talked about gambling for 20 minutes.
Hey, that's going to. I'm just
Steeple,
saying. Okay, here we go. Steeple.
Steeple. You got two sub 8 guys there, Gurma and El Bakali. That's our next final that's up, men's 3,000 meter steeplechase. Yeah, it has the potential to go very fast, and we have potential to see another very close race in the steeple. We've had a couple of those over the past couple of years. I think it's going to come down to El Bakali and Gurma. I'm going to take Gurma over El Bakali in this one, and then I think the race for bronze is going to be very close. What do you think?
Obviously, Gurma has shown consistency. He's broken 8 3 times 758, 759, 759, but he's lost to Bakale. Bakale, right now, I feel like is the king of the steeple. And I don't think Bakale not running multiple sub 8s should be held against him. He has the fastest time in the world. He beat Gurma with that fastest time in the world. I got to go with Bakale first. I think Gurma clear second. So it's a clear one too. And then there's like,
Mhm.
you pick and choose whoever you want for that third spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Uh, who should I pick? Trying to think.
I went with Kipruto.
Yeah. Mm, I want to like have fun and just like pick Hillary Bohr. Why not? I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna use one of my flyers on Hillary
You're
Bohr.
just
He's not gonna get third, but I'm gonna do it because it's fun. Hillary Bohr third. Why not?
Orton continuing his tradition of American and bronze medal position in every single race where they're a huge underdog. This is why you shouldn't gamble. Let's keep going. Men's 1500. Whew. This one is going to be exciting. Jakob Ingebrigtsen is the favorite, but this is a tough test. It's the first half of his double. You got Abel Kipsang in there. You have Timothy Cheruiyot in there. You have Samuel Tefera. The Brits are sending a really good team. Whiteman, Hayward, and Josh Kerr. And then you have Oliver Hoare, who ran a solid race at the Prefontaine Classic in the Bowerman Mile. U.S. will be led by Cooper Tier. You said Jakob's never going to lose another major championship race again from now until his career ends. So I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, Jakob's gonna win. I'm going with that. No ifs, ands, no if ands or buts. Jakob's winning.
Yeah. This field is stacked, but the 5,000 field's actually better. So if he this is his best chance for gold of the two. I have him winning as well. It would be silly to pick against him. I Kipsang has run so much this year. It's great. I love it. You wonder if it's too much. I think Chariot's gonna get there for second. Uh, and then for third, I'm gonna go with Hayward for third.
Hayward on Hayward Field. That's good. Someone's gonna do that pun.
Yeah, yeah. And the Brits will do it. You know the Brits will do
Yes.
it. They'll take advantage.
Hayward magic
Uh,
on Hayward. Yeah.
oh wait, hold on. Someone's saying Hayward isn't going.
Oh, he's not.
Hold on. Was he listed
Never
as it?
mind.
Hold on.
Do
You
this.
give me your picks.
Okay, so I think Ingebrigtsen wins. I'm not going to tell you who my second pick is. I'll tell you who my third pick is. My third pick is going to be Chariot. My second pick, I'm going with Oliver Hoare. I think he showed guts in that Oslo mile, ran 347. He's also run a 350. So he got second to Ingebrigtsen in the 1500. He got second to Ingebrigtsen in the he got second to Ingebrigtsen twice. Once in the mile at in Oslo and again at the mile at Pre. He beat Chariot. I think he's going to beat him again. And I think Hoare is just on a mission. The way, even going back to the way he ran the Penn Relays 4 by mile, he was watching the potential of that relay being impressive because the first leg ran slow. And then he's like, all right, I have to run this mile by myself for no purpose. And he goes out there and runs an honest effort, which shows that like he has that competitive edge that even when he knows it means nothing, he's still going to at least give it his 100%, which I love. And I think that's going to translate into success at these championship events. And so I think Oliver Hoare is set up to medal. I think he's going to get second. I think it's going to go Ingebrigtsen or and then Timothy Chariot. I could even see Oliver Hoare upsetting Ingebrigtsen. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does happen,
All right.
clip this and remember that I potentially said that he could do it. But yeah, I'm going Jakob, Ollie Hoare, and then Timothy Chariot.
All right. I got the British team here. The chat was right. It's Gorley, Kerr, and Whiteman. So no Hayward. So he's not getting not getting a medal because if you're not in the start line, you're not getting a medal. So I'm gonna go Jakob, Chariot, and then I will go saying for third. Tefera has. I mean, he had the great race indoors where he upset Jakob, but that was his last 1500. He's run a couple 5,000s outdoors, and that's it. Uh, I don't see him duplicating what he did indoors. outdoors on this stage. So I'll go those three. All right. Next up, men's 400-meter hurdles. This event has a lot of mystery around it. Warholm says he's running. He's been doing all the rehab to get his hamstring right. Doesn't know what he's going to have, but he's going to give it a go. And of course, because he's Carson Warholm, that's what he does. So I'm going to pick this based off of Warholm being less than 100% because that's just how I feel he's going to be. I think I'd love to be wrong. I want all three of these big three guys to be at 100%. But I just think the turnaround time is going to be too short. So I'm going to go Benjamin, Dos Santos, and then Warholm.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. My big question was whether or not I would go with Dos Santos over Benjamin. Dos Santos is running really well. I think I might go with Dos Santos. I was like really, really wanting to go with Benjamin, and I had to like resist the Homer bias, the US bias. But Dos Santos, man, like he low key has just been running really
Yeah,
well. He's
not
running
low
like 10
key.
people.
Not low key.
Well,
He's just been running really well and knocking it out of the park.
well, clearly it's low key to you because you're not picking him to win.
Well, I just think Benjamin has
He
a
boomed
little
you,
bit more.
Kevin. He boomed you.
It's just everybody is not. Gordon has a low key, high key scale, and unless you picked him to win, you're under. He ran 46.80. Of course, people are paying
Exactly.
attention to him. All
All
right,
right,
so
well,
you're
I'm
going
going with
Dos
Dos
Santos,
Santos. Brazil
and
for the win,
then
Dos Santos. I think Benjamin gets second. I think Warholm gets third. And I think Benjamin's
he's
like,
gonna
gosh,
list.
dang it. Like, I couldn't beat Warholm when he breaks the crazy world record. Now he's injured, but now Dos Santos is coming for me. It's just like I can't catch a break, and it's gonna be like forever a bridesmaid, never the bride type feeling for Benjamin after this. But Benjamin again is still young, and I think, he's eventually gonna break through, whether or not it's 2023 or 2024. I just think
Yeah,
it's not gonna be in 2022. I think that's gonna be for Dos Santos. So I'm taking Dos Santos.
men's 200. For a lot of people, this is the race of the meet because they want to see Knighton versus Lyles again. I think this is a U.S. sweep. Again, you really got to stretch to say it's not. You got to have a lot of faith in some of these other runners farther down. But because they have 4 entries and because they're headlined by the undisputed top two guys in the world, and then their third best guy might end up coming in as the 100-meter champion. And then you have another Olympic medalist right there in Kenny Bednarek. I think this is going to be a U.S. sweep. I've gone back and forth. Lyles Knighton, Lyles Knighton, Lyles Knighton. Who do you think's going to get it?
Okay, so let's look back at the USA Championships, specifically at the schedule. USA's, they decided to do the semifinals and the finals on the same day, which is not
Yes.
happening at Worlds. They're different days, correct?
Mm-hmm. You want to pull up the schedule, Gordon? Is that what you're asking?
Also, not only that, they do the semifinals and the finals of the 200 on the same day, but the day before, they had the semifinals and the finals of the 100. Okay?
I think I see where you're going with this.
So
But
there's
are
a
you
certain
actually going to?
athlete who had to do something that he's not going to have to do at Worlds. And then you think, okay, how did he do when he ran 4 races within 24 hours of each other? And I look specifically at his 200-meter final. This person I'm talking about is Fred Curley. Coming off of running 9.7s the previous day, in that 200-meter final, his second half of that race mirrored Noah Lyles. He was just already out of it after the first 100. He went from 7th to 5th and then 5th to 3rd. Where Lyles also increased 2 spots. He went from 5th to 3rd
Right.
to 3rd to 1st. And their splits were not, Lyles was better, but their Early was having a Lyles-esque type close, but just started farther back, so he got 3rd. And I
I
think that's
like the
all because
splits
he's coming off of
analysis on the 200.
I think that's all because he was coming off of his crazy 100-meter double the night before. So with that said, while we are all looking at Lyles or Knighton or Lyles, I really think Fred Curley might win because he's going to be not tired. He's going to be rested. And I think he feels it just has, I just have this vibe where we're all just writing in Knighton and Lyles and like then figure it out from there. I think I might go with Fred Curley winning the 200. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to say Curley wins. I think Lyles gets second, and I think Knighton gets third. There you have it.
You're right.
Long-winded
The
way of saying
schedule
that.
is Yeah, the schedule is easier in terms of rest. I'm still not picking against Lyles and Knight. Curly's always been better at the one than he has at the two. That was the case last year. That's the case this year. So you're right. He does move well the last 100, but I think bronze is where he's going to slot in there. I think Lyle's experience is just going to give him a little bit of an edge again here, too. And he's obviously very confident. If you saw the way he finished at USA's, I think the winning time is going to be in the 19 5 highs in this one, 6 lows in that range. I don't think we're going to see a repeat of the 19 fours that we saw with Knighton at LSU earlier this year. But I think it's going to be a great race. It's going to live up to the billing. I think Fanbelay is in the mix for a bronze. I think Kenny Bednarek is in the mix for a bronze as well, too. But I think the U.S. is going to be able to get all 3 medals here.
Man, if the winning time is 19.6, Curly's going to win it. Like Curly's winning. He's going to run 19.6.
I mean, they just had a 200 race that was 19.6, and he didn't win it at the U.S. Championships.
You know what? I just did a whole soliloquy on why. Come on, man.
Yeah, was he that tired?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
he
think he was
was.
tired, but I don't know if it's enough. What was the gap back to him? What did he run?
What was his time? He ran 1983.
83. So he was closer to Bednarik. He was actually closer to Josephus Lyles in 5th than he was to Knighton or Lyles.
That's cute. That's cute.
I,
Okay. Come on.
well, I'm just saying that's the fact. I think he's great. I think he's obviously amazing. I picked him to win the 100 gold. I just in the 2, I think Lyles and Knighton are going to get the better of him, and he's going to get a bronze, which is going to be great. He's going to have a gold, the bronze, and whatever they get in the relay, which we'll talk about in a little bit. All right, men's 400. This event changed with the news that Stephen Gardner is a scratch. He is injured, which takes out of this event the reigning world champion. It also takes out the 2021 Olympic champion, the silver medalist from 2017, a guy who has just been so consistent throughout the years. He will not be there. He's run 43.48, which means Michael Norman is the clear favorite. There is no doubt at this point who the favorite is in the 400. It is Norman, based on how well he's run this year. Norman does not have an individual medal in his career. This is his chance. This is his opportunity. This is really basically turning into Norman, Karani James, and the NCAA. Because if you look at that descending order list again, it's not that deep. We talked about how this event was not that deep. Because you go Norman, Champion Allison, NCAA athlete, Karani James, Randolph Ross, NCAA athlete, Gardner's out. Then you have Cherry in there. And then Elijah Godwin, who's a alternate in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The person who would be the 6th seed is not in the is a US athlete, would not be in this race. Matthew Hudson Smith has run 44.3. Jonathan Jones has run 44. 4. Van Niekerk, obviously 44 mid. But if Norman's at 43.6, he's good to go. He's good to go. Before I thought, okay, he's probably going to need a PR because Gardner always brings it. With Gardner not there, I think if he just repeats his USA performance, he gets his gold.
Yeah. Norman's going to win. And Karani James is going to medal. I'll probably put Karani James second. And my question was, all right, who am I going to go with? Am I going to go with Champion Allison? Am I going to go with Randolph Ross, Michael Cherry? Am I going to go with Jonathan Jones? And I was like doing all this, like, all right, are the NCAA athletes going to be able to, the 400 meter NCAA runners going to be able to
Yeah.
continue at a high level all the way into late July? Because NCAA 400 meter runners, they're also doing the 4x4s, indoor 4x4s, outdoor 4x4s. You look at someone like Fred Curley, who was dominating the 400 at Texas A&M, and then in 2017 just fell apart at the World Championships because he had been overrun running the SEC type schedule. He wasn't the same as he
Yeah.
was, a few months prior. And so with that, I'm kind of tempted to not pick an NCAA athlete as good as Champ Allison
Yeah.
and Randolph Ross are. And so with that said, let's have some more fun. Let's throw it way back. We're going Norman 1, Karani James 2,
Ooh.
and Wade Van Niekerk 3. He ran 44.5 early July, so he's clearly in
Like,
shape. He's going to set it up to run a low 44, find a way to get that third spot, beat out all the kids of the NCAA. And I'm going with Wade Van Niekerk in third.
I like that pick. I don't want to copy the pick though, so I'll just assume that one of those two NCAA athletes will be able to hold on. It's interesting because Allison and Ross switched their spots from NCAA's to USA's. So I'll just say this flips back in the direction of Randolph Ross, and I'll pick him for bronze here. But I like that Van Niekerk pick. I also could see Matthew Hudson Smith getting in there too. Just a solid, get a PR, run 44 low, and take advantage of the fact that the field isn't as deep as we probably thought it was going to be at the outset. So this is such a huge opportunity for Norman.
Oh, yeah. You better
Like
not
this
blow it, too.
is
If he blows this, it's...
this puts more pressure. We talked about pressure in the high hurdles. This puts more pressure on Norman not having Gardner there in a way,
Yeah.
because it's just like all the obstacles are gone at this point. He just needs to run what he's run before.
Yeah.
Like, if I would be so shocked if he runs a 43.56 again and loses, that would be stunning. He just needs to do what he has done this season. Not even that 43.60 at pre. I mean, you saw how much he beat James by at pre. I think James is the one guy who could cause him trouble, but at this point in their careers, Norman can get to that 43 mid spot. So, yeah, huge opportunity for Norman. All right, let's go to the 800. The event.
I've decided before we talk about this
You're adding
800,
it back.
I've decided we're gonna hold the event. I'm okay with it. Donovan Brazier showed he's healthy, at least somewhat healthy at USA's. We've been having some, other 143s throw down there. Marco Arop ran a 143 randomly in Canada. My boy Mula is in the field. Max Bergen's there. So we're allowed to hold the event. I was anti 800, but now I'm back on the side. I'm not going to be gluing my hands to the track in protest unless something crazy happens in the prelims. But yeah, we're going to have this event, and I'm excited to watch it. 800 is my favorite event. It's the event I ran in college and in high school. It's my favorite event, and I'm okay with what we have here. Even though there's no 142 guys out there, 141s. There's no, Rudisha career type runners, but we'll make with what we
Okay.
have. I've decided.
I want to play a little game with you. You ready?
Okay. Game. I'm ready for the game.
It's called Can They Win the 800 meter gold? Okay. Max Bergen,
Yes.
Wyclef Kinyamal,
Yeah.
Arop,
Sure.
Sajadi of Algeria. He's run 143.6 this year.
Yeah. Guess so.
Zahafi, NCAA champ,
No.
143.69 as well. No, you're
say
saying no.
no.
Benjamin Robert,
Yes.
143.75. Peter
Yes.
Bull, 144 flat. Emmanuel
Yeah.
Wanyoni, 144.01.
Yes.
Yassine Hedafat, 144.06.
I don't know who that is.
Tony Van Diepen, 144.14.
No.
Mula, 144.19.
100%.
Gabrielle Toile, finalist last year, 144.23.
No.
Germa,
It's like Cher just has one name.
Ermias Germa, 144.36. Patrick
uh,
Dobek, Gary Ambrose
no.
Moss,
Dobek,
Andreas
yes.
Kramer, Bryce Hoppel,
Bryce Hoppel,
and
yes. Donovan Brazier,
Jonah
yes.
Koech.
There's a lot of yeses. Jonah Koech, sure, why not? Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brandon Miller.
The point is, a lot of people can win.
There's
There's
like
not like,
there's like 15 people who can win this race. It's
yes,
not.
100%.
We always say it. It's become a cliche. Anybody can win this one. Just make the final. No, man, make the semis, and you can win the 800. This event it's got a little faster from the beginning of the year when you and a bunch of other people wanted to cancel it, but the parity has remained. So I'm using. People are going to accuse me of being a homer. I don't care. I'm going with a guy who's consistent and can run rounds. I'm going with Bryce Hoppel to win
For
the
the
gold
win?
medal in the
Ooh,
800.
like it.
I think Bryce Hoppel is going to win gold. I think every little bit of an advantage counts in this field. So running at Hayward Field is going to help. His success navigating rounds is going to help. I have Bryce Hoppel getting the gold, when Yanni's second, and then Marco Arop the bronze.
I agree with two of your picks. I'm going to go with Wenyani third. I think Bryce Hoppel will get second. And then I got to go with Mula
Mula.
for the win of Algeria. I think he's going to win. I think I'm excited to put my $1,000 of that day on him winning, and then, triple the money or whatever his odds are going to be. But yeah, Mula for the win. I think Hoppel, I agree with you. He's shown he's race ready. He's in the conversation with these other guys, and he's on his not home track, but U.S. track. So why not be
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
medal position? And then Wenyoni has been the best Kenyan, I think, and Kenya shows up, and they normally do well in this 800. So yeah,
Well,
I'm going with
Kinyamal's
Mula.
been good though too.
Yeah,
Noah Kabet's
Mula,
been good too.
Hoppel, Wenyoni.
We see our picks are not indicative of how ridiculous this is, because we have both have Hoppel and we both have Winyoni. We need to do a prediction contest just for the men's 800, because if someone gets top 3 in order, they deserve a prize. I don't know what the prize is, but don't you think they deserve a prize? This is
Yes, we will do
impossible
that.
to pick. We could get like 100. We could get like 1,000 entries. It's gonna be
And maybe
like the
none of them are
March
right.
Madness perfect bracket. Like, and we should update it after every round, because just like in March Madness. All right, after one round,
These
94%
people
of
are
brackets have
eliminated.
been eliminated. Yeah, just when's the men's 800 start? Can we do this? Is this something that we could actually do? It's in the back half of the meet, right?
Yeah, so we have time.
Oh yeah,
We don't.
heats aren't till July 20th.
Okay, so we'll do
We,
this.
we could
We'll do
we could figure
800
out.
Madness. This will be fun. And we got to do it before the first round because clearly one of our
Of
favorites
course,
is going to get knocked out in the first round. So
of course,
it's going to be
of
fun.
course, you have to do it. That's the fun part of it, is because there's 15, 20 people who can win. The math says a lot of them are going to get knocked out in the beginning, just like you have that 3 seed that you feel good about in March Madness and they get bounced. All right, let's keep going. We're running out of time. Men's 4x1. You have a pick on the men's 4x1.
Okay, what are we going to do here? Are we going to be baited? Are we going to do it? Are we going to believe? Are we going to be stupid and bite the apple from the tree and then regret it later? But I'm gonna bite it. Why not? I mean, I think USA is literally gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the men's 100. If I truly believe that one country is gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 100-meter dash,
Yep.
the literal 4x1 should win. Like, it makes no sense. If you have literally the 4 fastest runners in the world, you should win a 4x100. It only makes
If
sense. It
only
makes
there
sense
was
in
a
my head.
complicating factor. If only there was some task that they had to perform in the 4x1 that they did not have to perform in the open 100, though, Gordon.
A task that you see high school kids do flawlessly at certain times. You know, a task that you see college
Yeah,
kids do to perfection all the time.
yeah,
But when they're paid hundreds of thousands of dollars and they're focused on other things, who's got time for practice? We have a bunch of Allen Iversons out there. They're all-time great Hall of Famers, but we're talking about practice. We're not talking about the
yeah,
4x1. We're talking about practice. So,
yeah.
um, but I think they're going to practice. I think, and you know what? I think they're going to have bad handoffs, but I still think they're just too good to lose. So I'm going to go with they're going to have bad handoffs. They're going to have a bunch of Ronnie Baker, Fred Curley type handoffs, but they're not going to have Cravon Gillespie type finishes, and they're going to find a way to win it. So I'm going with
So
USA
like
one.
2019,
Yeah,
basically like 2019.
yeah.
They had
USA
a
is going to
scare in
win.
the prelim and then
Jamaica
won the
two,
final.
and then I don't know three.
Okay, I went U.S., Jamaica, Great Britain. All right, two more
Sure,
events, and then we're gonna
I'll
talk
copy that.
about the marathons and the field events. Men's 5,000. This thing is so stacked. It is ridiculous. So if Ingebrigtsen wins the 1,500, he'll be going for the double, but he could be going against another potential doubler coming back from the 10,000 if Borrego wins gold or if Cheptegei wins gold. Um, just the amount of quality in this race. This event got even better when Kip Career and Crop ran those 1246s in the Diamond League. You have Aragawi, who soloed that 1250 at pre. Kajelka, of course, has run in the 1240s. Mohamed has run in the 1240s. Idris, big time championship runner, he's running the 1250s. The American side, you have Fisher and Kincaid. I am so excited for this men's 5,000. I think this field is too deep. Um, I think it's going to be really hard for someone to pull off the double. I would say the 10,000 guys have a better chance than 1,500 guys just because it's more rest. Um, Chepta guy's in there as well. Didn't even mention him, and he's the world record holder. That just shows you how good this field is. But what do you think?
Yeah, it's the deepest event of the meet on the distance side. I like your idea that it's going to be a bunch of two guys coming back for the doubles, so they're going to be motivated. They also could be tired. I guess my main question is, how will the race play out? What do you think type of pace it's going to be? You
Fast.
tell me the pace, and I'll tell you who wins.
I think it's going to be sub 13. I think it's going to be in the I mean, it's gonna finish sub 13, so it's not gonna go out crazy, but it's gonna go out way more honest. There's just there's too many guys who like to grind, I think,
If it's
in this
fast, I
field.
think Borrego wins.
Well, 43, hard to argue with that. Yeah.
If
What's the rest
it's
of your podium look like?
well, if it's hold on, if it's fast, I think Borrego wins. If it's mid fast, like 13 flat, I think Jakob Ingebrigtsen wins. And if it's slow, like really slow, you know
Yeah.
who could win it?
Woody Kincaid.
Yeah. If it's really
That would
slow.
be that would be something.
Like
That
if
would
we're
be
talking like 13:30, 13:40 pace, Woody Kincaid could
yeah.
outkick these guys.
This is tough. Like looking at who you'd have to leave off the podium because the two guys, your Crop and Kip career, I don't think a lot of people are gonna end up picking them, but they got the 1246 behind their name. Chapter guy might not get picked a lot just because he didn't look that great at pre, but he's the world record holder. So I got, I'll let you finish your podium.
No,
What do
no,
you
no.
think it's
You
going to
go
be?
first. You go first.
Okay. I'm impressed by like Aragawi's solo run at pre. Impressed by Kip career and Crop, but yeah, I'm leaning more towards just experience in this sort of setting. So I'm going to go Borrega 1. I have Chapter guy winning gold in the 10. So I have Borrega 1. I'm going to go Jeez. I'll go
Silence is
Chepta
deafening.
guy. Chep. I'll go Chepta guy. 2, and then Jakob for 3, which means Kenya again is shut out in the men's 5K. But yeah, I got Borrega, Cheptegei, Jakob. That's my podium.
I'm gonna go Borrega, Jakob, Cheptegei. Switch out the 2-3.
All right, men's 4x4.
But
We talked about
but
this.
if I read the mile split or no the 2K split is a certain
Mm-hmm.
time, I'm throwing
You
in
changed your
Woody
pick.
Kincaid.
Yeah.
Throwing him in. So I'm allowed to do that after
All right,
seeing the 2K split. I'm allowed to throw in a Woody Kincaid.
you edit your pick at that point. All right,
Yes.
men's 4x4. Cole, how are we doing on time? You got to be done by 10:30, or we need to be done before 10:30.
No, I'm good. I just need to be done by like 10:45, like fully out by 10:45.
Oh, don't give Gordon more time. He's like, hey, there's more odds I just found. All right, I'll keep this brief. 4x4, U.S. 1. Oh, Dominican Republic 2, Jamaica 3.
What was going through your brain when you were like, what were you reading in your head
I
to
don't
like
I
make that
don't know.
decision?
I'm looking at the I'm just looking at the start lists, man. I don't know. Like, I guess I should be looking at the open 4, right? And looking at who has multiple entries besides the U.S. It's a bit all over the place, though. Jamaica's top entrant, Javon Powell, 44.8. Dominican Republic actually does have 2 up there, so I'm rolling with them. Second, Belgium's always in the mix. Nathan Allen is there. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that 4. I'm gonna go U.S., Dominican Republic, and then Jamaica. And outside shot, depending on what happens in the open 4 of world record for the U.S.
World record? Yeah, really? I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I can see that
It
happening.
all depends on Champion Allison. If he's in 43.7 shape still, it's possible. If he's not, it's not possible. Because did we do this on the pod? Did we talk about this? Compare the splits
Yeah,
for
we
the world
did. We
record.
did. We
Yeah.
did.
So it's like leadoff was 44.5. So it's like, okay, can Randolph Russ run 44.5? Second leg 43.6. Well, if Champion Allison isn't in 43.7 open shape, he can do that. Third leg 43.23. Could Ryan Benjamin do that? Yeah. And then the Michael Johnson leg 42.94, which would need to be matched by Michael Norman, or you have a little bit of wiggle room there from the first couple legs. I think it's possible, but it's only possible if 3 and 4 are there. I feel like Norman and Benjamin are going to come to play. It's just whether or not the other 2 legs are there with them.
I'm gonna go with USA 1, Jamaica 2, Dominican Republic 3.
You're just taking my picks and then switching 2 of them. That's cool. All right. Um,
That's how you win, baby.
marathon,
That's how you win.
marathon and field events. Marathon, pretty good field. I'm going to go with Chirono for the win, just like his consistency in this sort of setting. And then the other 2 spots are tough. I think I might go with McGee, who was silver in the Olympics. Do we have a DeCisa throwback performance? He's the reigning champion, but he hasn't run well since then. It's tough to pick. Actually, I'll go Cam Warrer for bronze. I'm going to go Chirono, McGee, Cam Warrer.
I'm going to wait and give my pick at the end of the podcast for this because
This is the end of the podcast.
no, we have to
This is
talk
it.
about field events in the women's marathon. So
Okay. So you're going to
just
keep.
give me
You're going to keep.
I need like 3 more. I need 4 to 5 more minutes before I make my men's marathon pick.
Gordon's
I will tell
asking
you
for
why.
an extension.
I'm asking for an extension on my paper.
Women's side of things, Jepchirchir's out for Kenya. So I think we could say Chepngetich is the favorite, defending champion, won in Chicago in 2021. DNF at the Olympics, but she's got a 217 to her name. But this is a really fast field. Salpeter's run 217. Geber Selassie, Yeshina, and Beccaria are going to be really good as well. I'm going to go Chepngetich for gold, Yeshina for silver, and then I'll go Jeptum of Kenya for bronze. Are you going to wait on this one?
I'm gonna go with the same with what you have. I'm gonna go with the same.
Stop.
I'm gonna copy your
Stop.
homework.
No, that
I'm gonna copy your
doesn't
homework.
count. That
Why
one is
not? What
staying
do you mean
blank
it's
as
not
well.
gonna count? Am I not allowed the
I
same
know
three
you
picks
didn't.
as you?
No, because you definitely would have picked an American for bronze if you were paying attention. You're just not paying attention.
No, I'm paying
All
attention.
right.
I'm just trying to get
All
some
right. Field
insider
events.
information. That's all I'm trying to do.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You're finding information on Rupp. That's what you're doing here. You're trying to pick. You're trying to figure out a way to learn more about Rupp. I'm guessing they're going to say, yeah, Rupp's in great shape. He's going to go for the medal. That's what you're going to hear back because that's what you
You
always hear
think?
back from
You don't think he'll
everybody.
be honest with me? Be like, hey, he ain't got it. You think Mike will
Yeah.
tell me?
Well,
You don't tell me the truth?
I think everybody's optimistic as they should be because they are professional athletes competing for medals and money. So
That's true.
I think I think it's tough with Rupp. You look at his last year; it's like there's not that many performances to draw from. I
Yeah.
mean, he was solid in Chicago last year when he got second, eighth at the Olympics before that, but there's not much from this year. So, all right, let's go. Let's go to field event stuff. Did all the rankings for the field events. So, I mean, you could ask me a lot of. I know more about all this stuff now than I ever did. Um, U.S. has a chance for a ton of medals in the field events. Cuba is very good in the triple jump on the men's side. Ukraine, solid in the high jump on the women's side. Mondo, big favorite. Rojas, only in the triple jump because of the shoe issue in the long jump, which is a bummer. And then, of course, you got Krauser leading the way in the men's shot.
Should I just go off of your your world rankings for my picks in my DraftKings
No,
bets? Should I just shouldn't trust your
no,
number one
because
picks?
no, a lot of these were filled with parity. Like there's clear number ones in some of these, but in other events, um, like the javelin and stuff, just like very, very tough to on the women's side. Men's side, I feel good about Anderson Peters. You have to ask me individually. And some of these people aren't in the meet in the top 10 for a variety of reasons. Right. So you don't want to bet on somebody who's not in the meet. But like I feel good about Nowicki in the hammer. Feel good about Warner in the decathlon, TM in the heptathlon. I feel pretty good about that. But there's a lot of these that are pretty open. I guess discus. Maybe maybe you should pick a lot of these favorites now that I'm looking at it. Chase Ely in the shot. She's been really good this year.
Yeah, she's thrown over 20 meters multiple times.
Men's long jump, I Tentacles would probably be the favorite, but it's
No,
crowded behind him.
I
Women's
don't
long
think
jump,
Tentacle's going to win.
Miambo.
He got lucky at
Well,
the Olympics. I remember because
but
I thought I was going to lose my money, and then he did it on the last
but
jump.
then who else do you have? Who else? Like it's there's a lot of parity behind it. Um, yeah, Rojas hasn't jumped in a bit, but you'd still feel good about her. Mahuchek in the high jump. I think Vashti can get a medal in there. Oh, Sandy Morris in the women's pole vault. There are actually some big favorites.
Yeah. What's the one event you're looking forward to most of the field events?
I'd probably say men's shot. Um, yeah, I just because it's deep too. But I also think that long jump could be sneaky fun just because of how wide open it could be.
Do you
And
think?
women's triple. I just like watching Rojas compete. It's just like she's just really fun to watch. She's so good.
Yeah,
And
it
then
would be funny if Kovacs beats Krauser and just continues to win on
no worlds.
the
Yeah.
World Championship stage, and then Krauser only gets the Olympic titles. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't do a mixed 4x4 pick. Maybe we shouldn't.
No, I don't think we should. I think we should end the pod, and I'll end the pod with saying
With your
I don't know who I have getting second or third in the marathon. I'll take whoever you have getting first and second. Put them second and third
no.
in my pick, and then let's just end it with Galen Rupp for the win in Eugene,
Oh wow.
where he.
Are you
Why
reporting
not?
that?
I'm
You
not
reporting
reporting
that?
that. I'm predicting that. I'm predicting that. Why not? Come on, let's have some fun. Galen Rupp for
If
the
Rupp
win.
win, if Rupp wins, you win the whole contest. I think that's what we're deciding here. Okay, let
Yeah.
me write
Okay.
that in there.
Well, if Rupp
Rupp, and then
wins,
he
do you
doesn't.
run a
Well,
marathon? Maybe. If Rupp wins, do you run a
no,
marathon?
Ooh, I like this. Flat out.
I'll run a. I'll
All
run a
out
merit.
marathon.
Wait, no, I'll run a marathon combined over the course of the remaining days I'm in Eugene. I'm not
Okay,
gonna
yeah, you
run it
gotta run
all in one.
26 miles. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
we
yeah.
do that. Sure.
Well, hold on. Let's hold on. Let me see which day he'd be running that.
I think
Uh,
it's like the third
Here
day, third or second day.
is it.
It's a
Men's
Sunday, maybe.
marathon day 3. Oh, I'd have
You got time.
a lot of days. I'd have 7 days to run 26 miles. That's almost too
No,
easy.
what would make it better is you got to do it after the evening sessions. You got to like do it after like
Okay,
not like when you
that's
wake
fair.
up because then it's not as fun. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I'm going
That's fair.
Galen up for the win, and then whoever you had getting first and second, I'm putting 2-3. So write that down for me.
Okay, I love it. I love the creativity.
Okay,
All
now
right,
let's
so
do
here's how
20
the
minutes on race walk. Ready? So, what are your
so here's how
thoughts?
the pod.
25K, 35K.
Uh, so someone asked in the chat about the schedule. It's 30 minutes after the meet, evening sessions every single night. So that's and every time it ends at 8 Pacific time. So we're starting 8:30 Pacific time, 10:30 p.m. Central time, 11:30 on the East Coast for every single edition or every single session. Is that correct? Night session.
Yeah, the plan is starting at 30 minutes after.
Mm.
If we figure out that we can go earlier, we will. If we figure out we need to
Yeah.
go later, the latest we'll go is an hour after. The earliest we'll go
Yeah.
is 1 minute after. So it's going to be sometime in there. We think the sweet spot's
There's
going to
no
be
way
30
it's going to
minutes
be a
after.
minute. There's no way it's going to be a minute because you got to. Well, okay, we'll worry about it later. Yeah,
You know
just
what I mean.
plan on 8:30 Pacific time, 10:30 p.m. Central, 11:30 p.m. East Coast time. So just hop on
Nothing.
over after the meet. At the meet ends. Take a bathroom break, get a drink of water, log on to YouTube. The chat will be up at that point, and then we'll start within the next 30. Right?
It's going to be great. Excited.
All
See
right.
you
Email the
guys
pod.
Friday night.
Yeah, and those of you who are going to the meet, find Gordon at the Wild Duck after the meet or wherever Gordon might be. Talk to him, interact with him in person, learn more about the man himself.
What are you trying to do right now? You trying to like create a dating profile for me? What's going on? Come on.
Well, I've heard some things. You'll like him more in person than you do on the show. I'll just say that.
There you go.
Fair? Fair?
Sure, that's fair. Oh, wait, hold on. You're implying that people don't like me on the show? Come on.
I'm implying that they'll like you more in real life.
Okay. So it
But
goes
that's
from
probably
good
the
to
case
great.
with a.
Goes from good to great.
Well, I don't know about if that's the scale. It might be average to good or
Above
average to. I
average,
don't
yeah.
know.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Colt. Thanks, Johnny. We will be back hopefully Friday night live from Eugene, Oregon, breaking down day one and also our travel to the meet. We'll talk to you guys then.